All right, guys, what is up? Welcome to the second episode of J.A.B Sports.
Welcome back.
Yes, we are back after the stream on Sunday, which was yesterday in ours. We are now going to the second. As you all can see, though, Jalen is not with us right now. He is at dinner. He will be joining us in about 20 minutes. So y'all can wait for him. But to jump right into it, we're going to jump into talking about college football rankings and some of the college games that happened this past weekend on Saturday. And yeah, we're going to go from there. So the new rankings, basically a whole lot changed in the top 10. Indiana moved up to 2. Ohio State stayed at 1. Um, but Texas A&M moved up to 3. I don't know that off the top of my head. I should have had it pulled up, but I don't have it pulled up right now.
Yeah, I forget who 4 and 5 are.
No. Oh, okay. Alabama's 4, jumping up from 6.
Yep.
Georgia's at 5th. Oregon's at 6. Georgia Tech's at 7. Georgia Tech is a sleeper, honestly.
Yeah. I think I discussed this a little bit on our stream yesterday, or maybe it was last Monday. But Haynes King is a dog. He is one of the best quarterbacks in college football. He could get a lot of teams that extra advantage. But again, chose to stay at Georgia Tech, and he is balling.
Yes. Ole Miss is at 8 after that loss to Georgia. And then you have, Lindsay's in the background right now. Are you staying in here? Well, it's somewhere in here. No, it's in the room. Jeez, interrupted. Just kidding. I'm not editing it. It's all live. We are now all natural. Ole Miss is 8. Miami, Florida's ninth, which I think. All right. Vanderbilt's 10th. Uh, BYU's 11th. Notre Dame's 12th. Notre Dame only moving up one spot. Oklahoma moving up one spot to 13th. Texas Tech dropping 7 after losing to Arizona State. Missouri's 15th. Virginia is 16th. Tennessee is 17th. South Florida is back ranked at 18th after they were when they beat Florida earlier this year. Louisville, I am honestly shocked that they're only ranked 19th. They beat the second team in the country, and they're only 19th. But yet you had teams that would. But you had what was it? What was BYU before this week?
Um, I think they were like 15, 16, maybe around there.
They jumped up 5. All right. Cincinnati's 21. Texas is 22. LSU dropped to 20. I forgot to mention that. Illinois is back in the top 25, which I thought was bullshit that they weren't in it last week. But dang, I forgot. Can't cuss. Sorry, YouTube. Arizona State's ranked 24th, and then Michigan's ranked 25th. I mean, going into there right now, it honestly looks like if we're talking about conference championships, it looks like it's going to be Ohio State versus Indiana and Texas A&M versus Bama, and the two big dogs of the Big Ten and the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
And Georgia Tech's ACC is them versus Miami right now is what it's looking like. But don't don't discount Louisville.
Yeah,
Louisville will be in the ACC championship game.
yeah. I'm gonna jump back to your um, opinion or your little statement on Louisville being 19. As much as I hate to agree with that, I also agree. But at the same time, there were a lot of teams in that uh, 6 to 14 range who lost, and they most of them played decent teams. So it's hard to move them totally back out. As great of a win as the Louisville win was, it's hard to move them further when a lot of decent teams lost to other decent teams last week.
Yeah. But again, it's just you just beat you were 4-1 going into that game. You were not favored by any means on any of the Vegas sports books at all. And you come out and you beat them. You forced Carson Beck, who is probably top 5 in the Heisman race, to throw 4 interceptions and just dog walk them.
Yeah, it should have been 5 picks too,
Yeah.
but a little mishap there caused the fifth pick not to happen.
And also, our college game day picks were awful. I picked LSU to beat Vandy. That was bad. Alex picked Auburn to beat Missouri. That them goes playing in a double overtime game, and then you have
Jalen picking Tennessee over
Jalen picking
Alabama.
Tennessee, which got absolutely
Yeah,
wrecked.
Alabama had a great game. Obviously, a lot of Tennessee fans talking big about that game. They've had some pretty good success, but
But this week we're different. We're
Alabama,
coming in.
Alabama's looked the best they've looked in all this year, in my opinion.
We are as a group. We are 0 for 3 on money line for the NFL, money line for college, and our Thursday night props. So
Follow us for more fire betting tips.
yeah, we got the bet. Oh, I forgot we got to do the bets. We have to do our bets for this Thursday night football game.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a quick little look see to see who the hell even plays.
Yep.
But anyway, going back onto that. I mean, anything else on the college rankings that I would disagree with would probably be, dude, LSU dropping from 10 to 20 is kind of nuts, but you put Vandy from 17 to 10 by beating them. So if you think that highly of Vandy, why do you think that low of LSU by putting them at that?
Yeah. Very
I
valid.
understand them losing, like that's a big deal. Now they're a 2-loss team, but you lose to the team that you think is top 10. And who's our other loss to?
Shoot, I think it was. Let me see. I'll look real quick.
All right,
Stay tuned.
stay tuned here, guys. But while we're waiting for that, guys, um, while he's looking that up, we can talk about the little Heisman thing going on right now. I personally think it's between two freaking people. I think it's between Fernando Mendoza of the Indiana Hoosiers. We were talking about his stats on yesterday morning on the stream a little bit. If anybody was curious about that, but he's just playing out of his mind right now. Knock on wood, he keeps it up. Indiana's going against a hot UCLA team. They said it best. They said it best that shit. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, Kurt Cinetti said it best that they're playing a 3-0 team this weekend because ever since they fired that coach and they got the new offense coordinator as the head coach and the defense coordinator set, they've been kicking ass, right?
Yeah. So LSU lost to Ole Miss. That was their other loss. Who's also a top 10 team.
Okay, so why? So I don't understand. I don't understand the drop 10 spots.
Yeah, that was a steep drop from LSU.
I understand other teams won and they probably, but you, I just don't understand the thought process.
A
I,
lot,
I could understand if they dropped to like 15th, but 10 spots is nuts to me.
a lot
When
of
you,
LSU fans were calling for Brian Kelly to be fired at this point. I even saw a tweet saying how some of the LSU fan base was cheering against them this week because of their deep um, dis
like,
dislikement, disagreements with Brian Kelly. He's had a cloudy coaching tenure in his college career. Obviously great at Notre Dame, but all the off the field stuff and the personal stuff he has always been criticized on.
yeah, yeah, Brian Kelly. He left Notre Dame in the dust. How many years ago was that now? Is that 4,
4, yeah, 3 or
5?
4, yeah, around 3 to 5.
That and as soon as Brian Kelly leaves, they 2 years later or so go to the fucking national championship. So that's nuts to think about. But anyway, going back, so I mean we can continue on to this, but I really want to get into the Heisman talk because I think it is between two guys, Fernando Mendoza and Diego. How do you pronounce his name?
Pavia.
Avia. Dude is literally a Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, Diego Pavia is the real deal. Um, it's hard to put all the success of a program on one person, but he has really helped flip that Vanderbilt program around. Whether it continues to go that way after he leaves this year,
Or if it doesn't,
he,
dude's
he,
a legend.
he said he's not coming back for seventh year. So we'll
7th year.
so we'll see how they end up doing with that and if they can grow off of that.
Yeah. And then I forgot John Gruden was talking about. He said he thinks somebody's the best quarterback in the draft. Who I forgot who he was talking about. It wasn't Fernando. wasn't Diego. It was some. I don't know. Maybe I'll figure it out at the end, towards the end. But right now, I can't think of it. I mean, can we think? Can you think of anybody else for Heisman right now, other than those two, off the top of your head, without looking deep into it? That like based of a pure eye test, that this dude, or even maybe Jeremiah Love, the running back for Notre Dame.
Yeah, he's having a pretty decent season. But other than that, Ty Simpson you can maybe throw in there.
Oh, that's who. That's who.
Sam
That is,
Flynn or Stockton, they're both having great years for Alabama and Georgia, respectively. Um, but yeah, Ty Simpson, another guy coming over from Notre Dame, has been in this offense, I think, for 2 years now. Won the job this year, and he's shown that he's deserved it, especially, like I just said, against Tennessee last week.
yeah, it's nuts. He's doing great. They're doing good, dude. Maybe those four might be the top four right now because this might be the most wide open. I mean, dude, if is there any chance Vandy can get into the SEC championship game,
I think so. I think they only have one SEC loss.
which is the Bama, correct?
Yes.
So they need Bama to lose one more. But does Bama play anybody else that's can possibly beat them?
I'm not sure. Probably the SEC has, I think, graded the toughest, um, like in conference schedule out there in the college football right now. Um, Especially with teams like Florida, Kentucky's not in anymore, but Kentucky they have a freaking gauntlet coming up, or in the middle of a gauntlet. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I think Vanderbilt could definitely make it, but they will need to have a few things happen. That'd be fun to see.
Vandy versus Texas A&M. That'd be pretty
That would
cool.
be quite the sight.
I wonder if Georgia has to play A&M or Bama does. We'll have to look. But we can look at it later. So those are the four Heisman's that me and you think of. Now let's go into something that honestly everybody probably wants to talk about when it comes to college football right now, and it's the firing of James Franklin last week, which stunned a ton of people, me included. But he was the coach that was basically what he has one Big Ten championship win.
Yeah, but they were one win away from making the college football playoff last year. I think Penn State did a disservice to James Franklin. He's turned that program around. They've always been a relevant program, but he made them what they were, with Trace McSorley,
Play
with
the song,
with Saquon Barkley and company. He's really made the
Michael Parsons.
program an upper echelon Big Ten program again. And I think firing midseason did a great disservice to James Franklin and all he's done for the team.
It was definitely a shocker because he's always gave Ohio State trouble. But this year was a down year, especially when you came in with the quarterback that was arguably supposed to be the best quarterback in college football. But when you're not succeeding in wins, it does. I guess. But I'll be honest, dude. He was a guaranteed 10 wins a year for a coach, and but I guess just wasn't able to ever get over that hump to where it was like, all right, dude, you've been here for 10 years now. We have one thing to show for it.
Yeah, and then another thing with the firing of James Franklin, firing him and trying to replace him within a week or two with someone better than James Franklin isn't easy to do. Obviously there are reports, just like with Florida right now, which we're going to talk about a little bit with Billy Napier being fired, of Nick Saban stepping in, but that's not realistic. You'll have your crazy what if scenarios, but um,
That'd be nuts. Nick
uh,
Saban to Florida.
yeah, yeah. This Penn State job, this sounds probably like a general take, but it's either going to be a upper echelon guy, or they're going to take a chance on a young, determined contender.
Trace McSorley.
But we'll see here in the next little while. Bring Trace back.
Hey,
Bring,
why not? Hey, look at UCLA, dude. It's working for them.
yeah, he's changed their whole offense around, along with their interim head coach. But their new offense coordinator is legit.
That is their interim head coach, the blonde hair dude.
Offense coordinator. Me and
But
your
he
dad
was, yeah,
about
but he's also the interim head coach, isn't he?
No, me and your dad talked about this.
Well, then whatever. Anyway, James Franklin, what schools do we think he'd go to? I could see him going to Florida. I could see him going to Florida, going from the Big Ten to the SEC.
Yeah, there it's looking like there'll be a few openings at the end of this year. He could go to Florida right now,
Dude, Michigan might be open.
but yeah, you could go to a team like Michigan or Michigan State. You could go out west to a team like Washington, maybe. I'm not sure about their success this year. I know obviously Kalen DeBoer's at Alabama now, but I'm not sure if their current success coach is having great success. But you could see him in any of those big spots. Obviously, he still wants to coach. He still has the passion to develop these young men into NFL players.
Bro, what's nuts was that freaking college game day invited him on Saturday. He was there on Saturday. I didn't get to catch it.
Yeah, and he took it like a champ. You know, it's not easy to sit there after you getting fired, being
Yeah,
on national television, but he took it like a champ. No hate towards Penn State. Said how much he enjoyed his time, which I thought spoke volumes about his character and the character that he tried to instill in those players at Penn State.
yeah, 100%. Well, let's jump on to Billy Napier. I don't think Billy Napier is going to get a job in a big time school next year or possibly the year after. It could be shocked. You never know. Freaking, he might end up going to Arkansas or something or whatever. Maybe James Franklin goes to Arkansas. But I mean, Billy Napier being fired, I don't think was a surprise to anybody. Florida had been you were ranked 15th. You had high hopes with DJ Lagley, and you just been sucking this whole year. Yeah, don't get me wrong. You had a good win over Texas, but whoa, ring a ding ding. But they got other than that, I mean, I can't really think of anything else about for Billy Napier. There's not really a whole lot to talk about. Maybe you are because you're the SEC guy. I'm more of the Big Ten guy. So
I think that he will definitely get a position somewhere. I don't know about ASAP, but again, there'll be multiple coordinator jobs opening up. He could go to a smaller school, or he could kind of get back on his feet at a decent SEC or Big Ten team or ACC team, being a coordinator. But his time at Florida was well overdue. Florida fans have been fighting him for three years, I think, at this point. Again, they have the hardest schedule in all of college football this year, so that's not anything to pass up. But I think he'll end up with a job, but it just wasn't working out at Florida for him.
yeah, hell, maybe him and James Franklin team up somewhere. Maybe in Arkansas. I don't know.
Yep.
Maybe,
Work. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
dude, Michigan looks rough. And now I say this, and they're gonna end up beating Ohio State. But
Was that like 8 years in a row?
no, it'll be five, which is weird because I've gone so many years without losing to Michigan in my life. But I mean, if that coach comes out, this is his second year. You were ranked. Well, what were they ranked? They were ranked like 14th or 15th to start the year, and you've been unranked. Now you're 25th. Then you were unranked again, and then you're back to 25th. And then last year they had the 7-5 record. I mean, they ended up beating Alabama in the bowl game and ended up winning their bowl last year. But um, I mean, they're looking like it's about to be. It might be another 7-5 season, or it might be a 8-4 season. And we all know that that's not good enough to get you in the. It's not good enough to get you into the Big Ten championship game.
No, and that's even more importantly, arguably, into the college football playoff. These upper echelon teams and across all conferences demand 9, 10 wins, probably 10 at least,
Yeah, 10 at least, 10
with
minimum.
the blue bloods, and it's not not going to happen uh, this year for them.
No, not at all. But I mean, going into it, like we said, that Big Ten game is most right now is Indiana, Ohio State, which I would love to see. And then the Texas A&M versus what is it, Bama right now. I would love to see that game. That game would be great. The Big 12 is one that I what BYU and
Cincinnati.
it might be Cincinnati actually.
It might be. But anyways, Big 12 would be interesting to watch, as always. But they have a few teams up there fighting for that conference championship spot. But yeah, I could easily see Cincinnati being there. They're still rolling.
Texas Tech.
Yeah, Texas Tech. That game last week didn't really show who Texas Tech was. Their starting quarterback was hurt. Arizona State had a great game. No discredit to them. But starting quarterback on the top offense in the country, it's not a good recipe for success.
No, not at all. Not even close. But I mean, Cincinnati might squeak their way in, dude, depending on who they have to play and how they can get there and stuff. But BYU's undefeated, 7-0, 3-0, or yeah, 7-0. So they're looking solid in that aspect of it. But I mean, dude, this week, I mean, we got some good games, I think, going on this week. Definitely some favorable ones. Oh, dude, you know who we could talk? You know what? I want to get into this because we haven't talked about him at all. Bill Belichick.
Hmm.
After a year away from football, comes to North Carolina. I will give him some credit. You know, they were recruiting and stuff like that, but it's hard to recruit when you don't have anything to back your side on a like as a program in Carolina. Now, if it was the NFL, yeah, obviously your resume's the best resume of a coach ever.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just crazy to me to think about him coaching college football and then not being successful. Now we say this, in the next year, you know, they have 9 wins or they
Yeah,
have 8 wins and they're playing in a bowl game. Because what's their record right now? 2-4, 3-3,
yeah, something like that.
something like that.
He he had a whole new group of starters in this year. Not that that affects him directly because he's a new coach.
Yeah,
He's had not a single starter return for that team. Again, whole new feel, but getting for the NFL. He's obviously not done great at all, but 1 year will take more than a year to adjust to a different scheme, to different schemes and different play styles. Uh,
these aren't all the best players in the world. Like the NFL, it's like those are all the best players.
yeah, and North Carolina's had a pretty good track record for football of recent years, obviously with Drake May and company, but they're not an upper tier team. When you think of the ACC, you think of Clemson,
Georgia
Virginia Tech
Tech,
at times, Georgia Tech this year.
Miami.
North Carolina, yeah, North Carolina's not the first thing that comes to mind. Obviously, Miami,
Unless you're talking about basketball, then North Carolina.
yeah, but not for football.
Yeah.
He'll take another year or so to get into it, but they really need to hit the transfer portal hard, and they need to recruit well for him to be successful. But he's not showing much signs of life now, and all the drama surrounding him
Oh yeah.
doesn't help either.
No, not at all. It does not help one single bit. But as we're wrapping up this portion of the college, Dylan should be joining us here soon. We can probably, when he joins, we'll give our money line picks for the Saturday. But we're going to go ahead and jump to the next topic real quick, and we'll come back to the betting portion of this. But let's give a little thing about. Let's talk about the AFC North real quick. Jump into the NFL here real quick. Last Thursday, you had the Bengals versus Steelers. What a shootout! What a game that nobody thought was going to be a game like that. Jalen making a great pick. I'm picking the over there, by the way. Jamar Chase, Joe Flacco knows the assignment. I have two of the best receivers in the league from the dang ball.
Yeah,
I mean, 23 targets for Jamar Chase, 16 catches.
franchise record.
10 targets for T. Higgins, 6 catches for 96 yards. 2 touchdowns. 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 2 touchdow you have 250 yards between two receivers, and then you have Chase Brown actually giving a running game where he had 108 rushing yards on just 11 carries. So it was nice. But the Bengals' offensive line is ranked 30th in the league. Out of 32 teams, they are ranked 30th. So the fact that Joe Flacco knew coming in here that he had to get the ball out quick, and he's playing lights out. Knock on wood that he keeps this up, but he's playing lights out with these past 2 weeks. You can tell the week one against the Packers with him. It was very like, all right, we're going to keep him kind of tamed. And then definitely, dude, during the Steelers, they let Joe Flacco be Joe Flacco, which was sling the rock and let him play backyard football. Like he said, he didn't know half the plays that Zach Taylor was calling. He was just, all right, if you're open, I'm going to hit you. Maybe that's the way that the Bengals need to go now.
Yeah, he has definitely filled the shoes. Again, he's like you just said, he's still learning the offense. But the offensive line played their best game of the year on Thursday.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they can build off of that. But no matter what, Joe, you have a quarterback, the line needs to be better.
Yeah.
And T.J. Watt, only 2 or 3 pressures, I believe, no sacks. Amarius Mims did a phenomenal job, the second-year player out of Georgia.
Yeah. He did a great job blocking. And again, I'm going to get back to this because it is honestly incredible to think of just Joe Flacco being able to get the ball out quick and just being like, all right, I'm going to hit this. And he puts enough zip on it to where you have to be ready if you're Jamar, Yoshavash. What dude? It also a little sneaky thing. Joe Flacco, I think, loves Yoshavash. I think he loves him. I'm when Jake Browning and Joe Burrow were the quarterbacks, meaning just 2 weeks for Joe Burrow, not even 2 weeks, a week and a quarter. And then Jake Browning, they were not throwing it to Yoshavash, and then Joe Flacco comes in. That's why it's like for example, on a Thursday night bet, it was 1.5 catches for Yoshavash, and I think he had 3 or 4. So
He also has dropped 3 or 4 passes over the last 2 games. I do agree that Flacco, he loves all 3 receivers, especially the big 2, obviously. But Yoshavash has had some concentration drops so far this season that he'll need to work on. But he's great last year. Have full faith in him to get back to where he was last year.
100%. And I mean, the AFC North right now, you have a 2-5 Browns team in third place now after just knocking off the Dolphins, which we'll get into the Dolphins here in a second. But we got the Ravens sitting at 1-5. They're coming off a bye week. Lamar should be back, so that should change. But their defense doesn't look that good. Even they look better against the Rams than they did, but they just didn't have any offense. But also, I think that's partial that the Rams weren't out there looking to absolutely murder them.
Yeah, saw a stat with and without Lamar Jackson. The point difference is like 32 with and like 6 without. So if he wasn't hurt, obviously he'd be in contention for the MVP just based off of those stats alone. But we have those stats because he is hurt. But he's not going to fix the Ravens' defense. They brought in a bunch of players over the past 2 years, some more veteran type leaders that really haven't produced up to the level that everyone thought. They brought in DeAndre Hopkins this offseason. Derek
Haven't used them hardly.
back. He hasn't looked as great. But Lamar's going to need to get that offense back on track, and hopefully having him back was just a big morale boost for the whole team.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean the Ravens coming back, seeing what they can do. Being a 1-5 team and still hopes of making the playoffs is going to be hard. But I don't know what the Ravens schedule looks like the rest of the way. We'd have to look at that. But if I think with the way the AFC is going right now, they would have to win at least 9 games to even be considered.
Yeah, I think this year there's probably going to be one, unless a big run by the Browns Bengals and or Ravens, there's only going to be one playoff team in that division. It's going to be the division winner, obviously, and we could see that division winner at 9-8. Um, I wouldn't see project much lower than that, but the winner of that division could be 9-8. And I think if it's the Ravens or the Bengals, that's one of the scariest 9-8 teams you could face in the playoffs, especially if fully healthy. The big topic will be if Joe Burrow, if they make the playoffs, if Joe Burrow is going to come back or not. Um, I believe I saw somewhere his timetable's like mid-December, but we got to see what they end up doing. If they end up struggling and are out of playoff contention by then, there's obviously no point at all in starting Burrow. But if they're flying and Joe Flacco is struggling, then there's an argument.
Yeah. If Joe Flacco's rolling, but Joe Burrow's healthy, it's almost the thing that's like, yeah, you want Joe Burrow, but it's like, do you put him in? But again, if you want him to play, you got to play him, I think, at least 2 games in the regular season before you go into the playoffs. Because having him for his first game be the playoffs coming back is just not a thing for success. Is what I would say.
Yeah, if the Bengals end up winning the division and they're the only team, they will have that home game, which will help Burrow if that is his first game back. Um, but throwing him out there, especially if Flacco sees decent success, will be an interesting move to watch. One that I don't discredit Zach Taylor making. He very much so flies by the seat of his pants. Um, so it'll be interesting to watch that.
Yeah, and then just to wrap up on this, I did say last week that the Bengals won. I think they'll win the division. I still think the Steelers are a good football team.
Yeah, yeah, they
I know people will say that they don't. I think they are because, dude, you have Aaron Rodgers, who's looking more like Aaron Rodgers this year than he was last year. Having a year of that Achilles tear, or I guess you can say 2 years now, technically, a year of playing with that Achilles tear. Knock on wood that he stays healthy, obviously. Football is just, it's good when you see Aaron Rodgers. Knock on wood. But him and Joe Flacco, I think I don't know. The Ravens have to go on a winning streak, what they are very much capable of. But I think it's the Steelers or Bengals that pull it out. Shit, freaking Browns might. I'm just kidding. The Browns defense is so legit though, dude. It's like that you know they can beat anybody on any given day, as long as their offense can produce
yeah,
17 points.
yeah. Talk about a butt whooping, man. Those Browns. Another one of our picks that didn't hit was
Dolphins. That was mine.
like choosing the Dolphins. But
Sorry, guys.
they just demoralized the Dolphins in every single way possible. Third round pick Dylan Gabriel looked really good, looked serviceable. If they can keep on doing that with the um, running prowess of Quinson Judkins, um, that offense should be good enough. Jerry Jeudy's a great receiver. Um, I forget there's a receiver who really torched the Bengals. I think it was Cedric Tillman. I think
Yeah,
he's injured now, but he looked really good against the Bengals. I'm not counting them out at all. I'm not counting out any team from winning that division. But certain teams are definitely set up in a better position than others right now.
yeah, yeah. Now talking about the Dolphins, honestly, when we were talking about that butt whooping, we got to talk about Tua. Should he be done as the Dolphins quarterback? Should he be traded, cut, just benched for Quinn Ewers? Now, there was a thing. Mike McDaniels did not talk to Quinn Ewers after his first drive yesterday. Now, is that the sign of a coach that's just being a little petty because he's pissed off that Tua's not doing well and his job's going to be on the line, and you just are just mad that you don't even want to talk to the rookie? Do you honestly, like, my thought process is just on a different level in this? Is like, dude, your starting quarterback's not playing good all year long almost. You can put this rookie in against the number one defense in the NFL, and you don't come over to help him, talk to him, saying that like, hey, it's okay. Like, he's playing against the best defense and it's raining, the balls are wet, and you're not. I don't know about that, but in my personal opinion, I think you should try to trade Tua for anything at this point. You try to see what team needs. Maybe he can go to the Raiders.
Yeah, Tua's had a lot of chances. I'm sure he's held down by Mike McDaniel. He just looks not interested in football at all this year. I'm sure Dolphins fans really want Tua off their team, but Mike McDaniel has not helped his case in the slightest. So we'll see what happens there, but I also think Tua should be off the team. He'd have higher trade value than who we're going to talk about, Geno Smith, here in a little bit. He has a decent sized contract, and you can't let that ride the bench or just tank your team for the next few years.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think you rock with. I think you just rock with Quinn Ewers for the rest of the year. I say you say screw it. You're 1-6. You're not going to make the playoffs. You'll be lucky to win probably 2 or 3 more games if you're lucky enough. You rock with Quinn Ewers for one to see if he can be the quarterback next year. If not, you're going to be so bad you can draft the top quarterback in the draft this year.
Yeah, this will be a good spot to see what Quinn Ewers is. He didn't obviously have very much pressure on him at all coming out of the draft. Everyone thought that Tua would be usable enough to make him have a playoff run, but I could also see the team parting ways with McDaniel and seeing what Tua does again next year. Now that's just delaying maybe the inevitable, but Mike McDaniel does not look good at all for this Dolphins team.
Or if you're the Dolphins, it's like what do the Dolphins need? They're definitely going to need another receiver to next
They
go
need everything.
because they've already said there's no chance Tyreek Hill plays next year.
Yeah, he might retire.
Yeah,
Obviously, A Chain's really good,
yeah.
um,
So it's like, but
but they
here's the thing: if you're the Dolphins, you keep Waddle, you trade A Chain, get draft picks, dude, because you are in a complete rebuild mode now at this point, and you see. Well, here's the thing, though. I don't know if you're rocking with Quinn Ewers, do you keep Devin A Chain to give him at least another weapon, or do you just say screw it and trade A Chain and then rock with Quinn Ewers and see what he does? Because dude, it's a very big thing. Is like if you have a quarterback that's back there, you ought to give him a chance to prove himself, or you trade for Geno Smith, like another guy, Geno Smith. Do the Raiders trade him? But they need a quarterback. Do they trade him for Tua?
Man, I think the Raiders will be lucky to get a sack of a sack of gum for Geno Smith right now. Man,
This is not the Geno Smith.
he has looked absolutely awful. He hasn't done anything right. Just like Justin Fields. They they beat the Chiefs, which he looked serviceable, and Brock Bowers has been hurt, but he's not the same Geno Smith we've seen with Seattle the past 2 or 3 years.
They had 90 total yards against the Chiefs. He had 67 passing yards, bro. He looked terrible.
Yeah,
Like you have enough weapons, bro. I know that Raiders team ain't loaded with weapons, but you have two good tight ends in Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers, and for Michael Mayer only to have one catch is ridiculous. And then you have Trey Tucker, Jacoby Myers. Obviously, they need another receiver, but Ashton Genty, dude, Quinton Junkins is proving that he's the best running back in the draft.
yeah, him and Cam Scadaboo. It seems like so
Him
far.
and Cam Scadaboo, which were second and third round draft picks,
Yep.
they weren't a Marion Hampton. They weren't Ashton Genty, dude. They were second and third picks. And then, I mean, Geno Smith, dude, dude, I don't know. Maybe two bad teams can trade for each other. Maybe the Raiders trade Geno Smith for Justin Fields, and Justin Fields becomes a Raider, and then they give Justin Fields a chance there. Just because you already know you're going to be bad, you might as well just go ahead and give this kid whatever. And you give Geno Smith back on the Jets, where he has a actual stud receiver in Garrett Wilson, which he had in Seattle with DK, and he did go with DK. So I mean, I don't know what you do. Those teams are done. Justin Fields, I don't know why. I feel like he's going to start on Sunday for the last time. I think this might be his last chance to start. If not, then we've seen the last of Justin Fields as a starting quarterback in this league. He will be a backup Dude, I don't. I personally, this is me talking about Justin Fields again. If I'm his offensive coordinator, I am running the Eagles offense. Straight RPOs.
I think I would express my opinion on Justin Fields.
I know you think he's a bad decision.
I think he's one of the worst three quarterbacks in the league. He can't read a defense to save his life. He can't make a decision to save his life. He's very athletic. He's up there for one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the league. But none of that matters if you don't know how to actually play the quarterback position. And it
Yeah.
really seems like he doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, he's back in the pocket for 4 and 5 seconds, which they have a decent offensive line, but it's a young offensive line with Armand Membu being a recent draft pick of them, and also the tackle opposite to him. I forget who it is. Along with AVT Elijah Vera Tucker, they don't have a bad offensive line. He can't make a decision. He has Garrett Wilson. He has a good upcoming tight end. I'm blanking on his name right now, but he has decent amount of weapons, but he can't play quarterback.
I Now here's the thing. I they looked Justin Fields looked very good. The Jets looked very good in week one against the Steelers. They actually looked like they were about to be not the same old Jets. And then the second week, Justin Fields maybe it's that fucking concussions that he can't make those decisions. That he got it by the Bills. But yeah, but and then he got hurt against the Bills, couldn't finish that game, and then missed the game against whoever that third team was. But then the Dolphins, he played well, which his offensive line couldn't block the defensive line there, but he was still able to put up really good numbers, and they ended up only losing by 6. But I mean that defense couldn't stop that terrible Dolphins team, and then their defense wants to play. It's just it's like when Justin was playing good against the Steelers, the defense was playing terrible. When he was playing good against the Dolphins, the defense was playing terrible. It's like you could have had 2 wins right there against 2 very winnable games. But other than that, dude, yeah, Justin Fields might be done. Um, and Geno Smith might be done, and Tua might be done. Those 3 quarterbacks are probably gonna be done, especially in their divisions, which their divisions are like the Dolphins, you have the Patriots, and the Bills, who are not going away. And the same, obviously, the same with the Jets. Those 2 teams are the top 2. You have the very 2 bad bottom teams, and then obviously the Raiders. They need a quarterback to compete because you literally have Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Bo Nix, which Bo Nix just put up 33 points in the fourth quarter on the Giants.
What a crazy game.
Yeah, that was nuts. And then but moving on from that though, it does suck to see 3 guys' careers kind of spiraling down. I don't wish that on anybody, even if I don't like you. Like if I don't like the Eagles, like Jalen Hurts, I still don't hope that he like is just a shell of himself. But or like out of the league. But based off of that, dude, we're continuing on the football train here. I want to talk about Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle because last week I mentioned it about fantasy trading, and I'm thinking about trading for Rico Dowdle and just not sitting Chuba Hubbard because they were splitting carries. But Rico Dowdle was ultimately the better runner, better receiving back. He had almost 100. He had 96 total yards. Again, Chuba Hubbard, I think, only had maybe 60, if that. So, but maybe Chuba's load gets bigger as it goes on because he did just get back from a hamstring injury. So we'll see. This week in fantasy for me in that league that I have Chuba in, uh, I have Jamar Chase. I'm playing against a guy that I was not supposed to beat because I'm undefeated in that league. James Cook and Josh Allen and Zay Flowers are on a bye week for me this week, so I got screwed in that aspect of it. But I'm still right there. The game's going on right now. Amon Ra, I need him not to catch another pass or score or anything, and I need Jake Bates to kick another field goal to even have a hope of winning this. But other than that, dude, the Rico Dowdle thing, I think Rico's going to jump Chuba, but I really hope Chuba stays 1. But Rico's going to end up getting yards. I think it's going to be a whole Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard thing.
Yeah,
Um, where Zeke was the starter and he did all the power back stuff, but Tony Pollard came in and got all the yards.
Yeah, I think from an actual team and NFL perspective, you gotta be happy for Carolina that Rico's having such a good year. There's never uh, such a thing as too many weapons on a football team. Kind of eases the pressure off of Xavier Leggett, who's having a downward year. Ted McMillan is kind of rising up into the starlight a little bit, but they didn't play good against the Jets at all.
They're not.
They won 13-6. Blake and I were talking yesterday. We didn't feel like there were many great games on. The Vikings and Eagles game was good. And
The 4 o'clock games have better.
yeah, one of the 4 or 2 of the 4 o'clock games were pretty tight. But yeah, the Panthers could use as many weapons as they could, and we'll see how that goes in the future. But Rico Dowdle's looking explosive.
Also, carrying on to that, Bryce Young got hurt yesterday. So are they going to now? Does this injury? I haven't heard anything else about it, but based off of this injury, might be seeing the red rifle next week.
Yep, you might be back to starting for a while, but I don't
Depending
know if
on
the
it.
injury is serious or not.
The Panthers are 4-3, baby. The Panthers are 4-3.
Same with Jaden McDaniels. We'll have to see what comes out about him and his right hamstring.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels, dude.
Mariota looked pretty good. He looked like Marcus Mariota, but
Yeah.
I mean
That was by far the best the Cowboys defense has looked.
the Cowboys were already ahead by a decent amount, so the train just kind of completely halted for the Commanders' offense.
Oh, dude, Baker Mayfield might have got a fumble. Like, might have fumbled the ball. But anyway, yeah, going on to that, dude. It's mind boggling when you think of that kind of stuff. And also, just for to let y'all know, Jalen will not be joining us, but I did ask him for his bets, and we will get those out for you all here shortly. But I mean, the NFL, nothing else I can really think of right now. Oh, NFL MVP update. Who do we think MVP? I would say, I mean, Jared Goff right now is playing really good again. We can put him in that conversation. Dak is in that conversation. I think still. Just need the Cowboys to win the games, get to the playoffs. Baker Mayfield, I think even after this game, he'll still be in it. He'll obviously drop on some people's boards, but I think you still got to keep him in it. Still one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now. Patrick Mahomes sadly needs to get involved because Rashee Rice gets there. Well, does Patrick Mahomes get added in it because Patrick Mahomes, or do we just or Rashee Rice is the reason that why this offense looks so explosive?
A little bit of both. But yeah, so Baker, this is definitely still up there. This game's not over yet. He's looked not par for the course for him this year. Other than that, you still have Josh Allen. Um, every week that passes, Daniel Jones is still hanging on for
Yeah,
Indy. He looked good against the Chargers. Chargers kind of came back a little bit in the second half. They had a much better second half than the first half. But you could definitely throw Daniel Jones up there. But those are and Dak Prescott, obviously. Those are the top four, in my opinion.
yeah. My top four is basically the same. I think you still can creep based off tonight, dude. You might throw Sam Darnold in there again, like I did last week. I really think highly of Sam Darnold. I think the Seahawks have looked very good. They've been that game against the Buccaneers. Arguably could have went either way when they lost by a field goal. And also, I mean, I want to talk a little bit about the Texans tonight, who plays there. Their last game out, they absolutely slaughtered the Ravens. And CJ Stroud has looked more like CJ Stroud the last 2 weeks that they played than he did in the previous three.
Yeah, he's dealing with a really banged up and poor underperforming offensive line as well. Nico
Yes.
Collins is always a threat to get injured. Joe Mixon's still out. They have Nick Chubb. But that'll be probably one of the best running back duos in the league when healthy. Tank Dell is injured. So it's CJ Stroud slowly getting his weapons back, but that offensive line, just like the Bengals, needs to play like they've had in the previous week or two.
Yeah. But yeah, they're It'll be a good game tonight, I think, between the Seahawks and the Texans. I don't know why that game's on at 10 o'clock. That's nuts.
Well, they're
That
out.
was just
They're out in Seattle. But yeah, that is really late in general.
yeah, even if it's just weird. But yeah. Now jumping on to the other thing, or well, that wraps up the NFL. Do we want to go ahead and do our bets, or do we want to wait until Jalen gets ours in?
We can fly through the NBA and the little bit of MLB we got,
All
um,
right,
and then we can do our bets at the end.
let's talk a little bit about the MLB first. Let's get that out of the way because the NBA season starts tomorrow. But
Except,
the MLB right now, we have Game 7 of the what is it? The AL,
yeah, the ALCS.
the ALCS. So we got the Mariners versus the Blue Jays. And what's the score of that right now?
It is bottom of six, 3-1 Seattle. J.A.B hit a homer earlier. My pick was Seattle to begin with to win it all. Half of that is maybe due to not liking the Dodgers.
Yeah, I don't like the Dodgers, but it's hard to.
It's hard to pick against them, and it's hard to not pick the team with like a $7 billion payroll. Um,
Yeah,
there's a stat brought up about, or Mookie saying about how Shohei is what do you say? Shohei is like a superhero or whatever. But it's easy to be a superhero with a cast of other superheroes with no salary cap in the MLB.
bro, they're the Justice League.
It's it's hard to bet against the Dodgers because money talks. But um, Mariners are winning right now. I'll still pick them. But the Dodgers are looking great. Shohei Ohtani, in my opinion, has had probably the best postseason appearance in the 21st century. 3 home runs and 7 scoreless innings with 10 strikeouts.
Yeah,
He was
it's
struggled up until then, but he is just being Shohei Ohtani right now.
yeah. You show up in the closeout game, bro. That's all that matters. But I mean, the MLB World Series. There's not really much to talk about right now. Besides, hopefully that I hope Seattle wins, so that we can actually get. I think it's the Blue Jays. I think it's just going to be a wash. I think the Seattle actually has the players that are able to compete. Not saying win. I think they have the pitching, and I think they have the hitters that can actually make it somewhat competitive. Not saying that they might only win a game, but the other 4 games are 1 run, 2 run games, not 9-5 or 6-2 crap.
Yeah, Seattle did what many teams really should have done at the trade deadline was go out and actually acquire star talent with Eugenio Suarez at third base and Josh Naylor at first base. Those two
Oh yeah,
have played humongous roles in the postseason. Suarez hit a grand slam in the bottom of the eighth, I think in games 5 or 6, which won the Mariners the game. It just shows how adding small stuff like that really makes a big difference. Now
yeah.
that might not have saved a smaller market team or a worse team like the Reds in the playoffs, but say the Brewers or a team like that were to make trades like that, that probably would put them over the top. But again, playing against the Dodgers is really tough. It's hard to beat them 4 times, nonetheless 1 time. But yeah, I'm pulling for the Mariners. They have a great pitching staff. Brian Woo's pitching right now. He's one of the best pitchers in the MLB. Had his struggles this year, but they have a legit pitching rotation with a lot of power to back them up.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how I'm very interested to see how the pitching goes in this series in the World Series if it is Seattle versus the Dodgers.
It'll be
But
on strength.
yeah, but that World Series I haven't watched hardly any of the playoffs since the Reds got eliminated. But I will be watching the World Series probably every game of it.
Yeah, who doesn't love the World Series?
Yeah, I love the World Series. Let's get a little thing here. Oh, Jalen showed us his. Sent us his picks. So we are going to talk about Let's do our college picks. So now we're backtracking. Let's do our college betting here. We're doing money line picks here, people. Jalen, I will lead off with Jalen's pick. He picks Ole Miss to beat Oklahoma. Thank God you changed your pick, Alex.
Yeah.
Wait,
Thanks.
that's the noon game though. He has to pick a late game, doesn't it?
It doesn't matter. We're not. Let's not bother
Oh yeah, not
him.
bothering with it. All
Yeah.
right, I am picking Ellis or Texas A&M to beat LSU.
And then I'm gonna pick Auburn again, over Arkansas. They looked really good versus Mizzou. Um, double OT. It's just basically a coin flip at that time. Who wants it more per se? But I'm picking Auburn to win over Arkansas.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. The only one that picked a underdog is Jalen, so we'll see from there. And then we're going back to our NFL topics real quick. Hold on one second. He might have just said a crazy thing.
We're doing money lines. I can give my pick.
Yeah, do the money lines for the NFL.
All right. So for week 8, um, I think I'm going to choose. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Texans over the Niners. For some reason, there isn't a money line directly for that game. Not right away, but I'm gonna go the Texans over the Niners. They are minus 135 for that, but I'm picking the Texans.
All right, you got the Texans. Perfect. Jalen is picking the Cowboys to beat the Broncos.
That'll be a good game to watch.
All right, and then I am going to rock with. I don't know what the spread is. I need to look at the spread on it because I'm debating on picking between the Bengals to beat the Jets, or or I'm picking, or I want to pick the Bears to beat the Ravens. But I need to know what the odds are, bro. The odds. I need to see the odds. What do we think the odds are?
I have no idea. I think
Oh, I'll take the Bengals versus the Jets. It's minus 320. Oh, the Ravens are actually favored to beat the Bears.
yeah, I choose that. I was about to say I'm pretty sure the Bengals have a decent money line,
So we have the Bengals, the Texans,
and the Cowboys.
and the Cowboys. I hope the Cowboys win. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'll be a good game to watch.
That'd be a great game.
And then to wrap it up here, we can talk about the NBA since we've hit the hour mark. We can just touch on this a little bit.
Well, we got to let's do our Thursday night football parlay real quick. That won't take long. Jalen gave us, he's picking the over for the Vikings Chargers game.
I'm gonna pick Justin Jefferson touchdown.
Okay. I don't want to pick the same guy. I was going to pick I was going to pick a Justin Jefferson touchdown. Let's go. I was going to pick Justin Jefferson 60 yards. Let's go. Let's stay on the Vikings track here.
Could go high.
I want to go. Let's go with. I want to go with Jordan Addison, 40 receiving yards.
Solid.
So there's that parlay. We'd have to look and see what the odds are on this, people, but we'll see. But anyway, now let's go to the NBA here. I know, guys, I'm sorry, this podcast has been kind of. Well, it wasn't everywhere. It was actually pretty good until we just had to get those bets in. But anyway, let's go to the NBA. We're talking about the NBA. The NBA season starts tomorrow. The great 82 game season here. All right. Tomorrow night, games opening. I know there's the Warriors versus the Lakers tomorrow night. The Lakers are without LeBron James, but yet they still have Luka Doncic to start the year. And also that signing with DeAndre Ayton, but I don't know how that's going to look.
It'll look better than last year. They need the help at center, and they addressed it. I'm a big LeBron guy. I think the Lakers could win it all this year. They're going to be my pick. A bit of an aggressive pick, some may say, but I think this team really finds it this year. Gabe Vincent's been had a good summer league / preseason. I'm gonna pick the Lakers to win it all. MVP. I mean, I hate to pick Jokic again, man, but he's unstoppable. I've Nikola Jokic is going to be my MVP pick for this year.
My MVP pick is going to be. I don't know why. I don't know why I got this feeling. I'm just kidding.
Derrick Rose.
Derek freaking Rose, baby. On a real note, I think this is the year Luca wins it. I think I'll stay on that Lakers track with you on there. I don't think they're going to win it all by any means. I think the Cavs. I think the Cavaliers are going to win it all. The addition of Lonzo Ball is so unrecognized by non-basketball people. Just because, yes, Lonzo Ball has never been that player that's going to go out there and score 20 a game, but he's going to go out there and get you 10, 7, and 7, and he's going to guard every best guard, and he's going to get steals. He creates for people. He might not always get the assist, but he'll get the hockey assist. Like he'll make the extra pass, and then they'll make the pass to the cutting guy, and they'll score. Or he's the one that guards and gets a steal or help defenses nuts. He's just a guy, and he pushes the pace. He is a guy that you watch, and you're like, I love the way he plays basketball. Yes, he's not the guy he's not. We all know he's not better than LaMelo Ball, but he's better than.
Yeah, they play two totally different styles of basketball. LaMelo Ball is someone you run an offense through. Whether you choose it or not, man, he's going to shoot. But Lonzo's more of like a court general
I do what I need to do to win.
for his team and more of a complete player, I'd say.
Yeah, he's honestly so enjoyable to watch. I loved watching him in college. It sucks that he got hurt because the Bulls were rolling in that 2022 season with him. They were the 1 seed, and then he got hurt, and then they ended up being the 6 seed. And then the 2 years he was hurt, they were a play-in team, losing in the first play-in game.
Yeah, I loved watching him in college too, especially against Kentucky.
Yeah.
Go Cats.
Yeah. But I do think the Cavs are going to end up winning it. I think the Warriors are going to beat the Lakers tomorrow night.
What's the other game?
Rockets versus Thunder, which is going to be a good one, I think.
Yeah, two great games.
I don't know who's going to start for the Rockets. Are they going to go that tall lineup where KD's starting shooting guard, or are they going to put Reed Shepard in there to run point and have KD drop to the 3?
I think Reed Shepard's more than capable of starting. Had a great preseason. He's not a one-dimensional player. He gets dogged on a lot for his size. He's definitely not the strongest or quickest, but he forces so many turnovers. He could lead the league this year in steals. He could be
If given the playing time.
Yeah, obviously given the playing time.
Yeah.
And he's an offensive mastermind, perfectionist. He's a big shoot and dribble guy. Loves the 3-pointer, but he's not afraid to score from 3 levels.
Yeah, he is not. He is definitely. I wouldn't be shocked if he averaged 15 or not 15. I could see it though because I know Ime Udoka, he plays his starters 30 plus minutes. So if Reed's getting to start a lot, he's playing 30 plus minutes. Now those games where Ime Udoka starts that tall ass lineup and Reed's only going to get to play maybe 23 minutes instead of the 36 if he starts, then he might average 12. But I think if he gets to start a majority of the games, if he gets to start over 50 games, I think he'll average 15. Just because look at the offense there. You got Alfred Sengun you got to worry about. You got Kevin Durant you got to worry about. And then if Reed can come out there and hit 2, 3 threes a game, which he's more than capable of doing, and then scoring at mid ranges, because every team, whenever they see Reed, puts their slow white guy on him.
Yeah, another player who doesn't get enough credit is Amen Thompson. Obviously, he's more known for his defense. He's really, people are saying he's already the best defensive guard / forward in the league, which I don't think is honestly too crazy to say. But he can score too. He showed it last year in stints. But if Reed Shepard gets those 30 minutes, he's my pick for most improved player this year.
Yeah, if he gets the 30 minutes.
Yeah, by far. But that Rockets team is going to be really good.
Dude, and then Wednesday, we only have 2 NBA games tomorrow night, which I will definitely be watching that Rockets Thunder game. Okay. But we got the Cavs versus Knicks Wednesday, the Heat versus Magic Wednesday, Nets versus Hornets on Wednesday, Raptors versus Hawks on Wednesday, 76ers versus Celtics, Pelicans versus Grizzlies, Pistons versus Bulls, Wizards versus Bucks, Clippers versus Jazz, Spurs versus Mavericks. That's going to be a good opening game. Wembanyama versus Cooper Flag and Anthony Davis in the crew.
And Megan the Stallion.
Megan the Stallion, maybe Klay Thompson for 3. What a guy. Way to pull that out of your hat. And then Wednesday, to finish it off, we have the Timberwolves versus Trailblazers and Kings versus Suns. If you had to pick somebody, Alex, on this game, on the Wednesday, we'll skip Tuesday. On Wednesday, who do you have winning a game? Money line. If you had to go money line just to win. The Knicks are favored to beat the Cavs.
I'm gonna go Celtics. I think they've looked pretty good without Jason Tatum. Don't know his exact timetable. Obviously, he's out for most of the year at least. Um, but I'm gonna go the Celtics. Money line. They're looking good. It'll be interesting to see what lineup they run. Peyton Pritchard out there. I'm sure he'll have an increased role. But yeah, I'm gonna pick the Celtics.
I'm going to rock with. I'm going to rock with the. I don't know, dude. I do want to pick the Cavs over the Knicks, but I don't know what that offense is going to look like with Mike Brown as the head coach now for the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to look. Honestly, I might pick the Hornets to beat the Nets.
Not a
Do a
bad.
little different one there to see. But yeah, I mean, dude, we got MLB, we got the World Series going on, we got the NFL, we got college football, we got NBA games starting. College basketball is about to be starting. That's about to be added into this mixture of on this podcast, but
NHL
um,
live too.
and on the live stream, also guys on Saturday morning at about 11:30. Tune in to watch us stream and talk about the noon games going on where we pick the winners. We do live betting. We talk about it. We talk about later games. We talk about that week of. Don't forget to tune in for that, guys. Overall, though, this is the end of the podcast. If you guys have any questions or any suggestions on what we should do on the Saturdays when we're streaming, any activities you think that we should do, or on the podcast, y'all want us to talk about anything that we missed on this. Um, I appreciate all y'all that are watching. Alex, you got anything to say before we sign off?
Yeah. We'll be streaming on Twitch. It's J.A.B Sports on Twitch.
J.A.B Sports Show.
Yeah, J.A.B Sports Show on Twitch. Leave a like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. We'd love to hear feedback from you guys. We're just getting started, and we're really enjoying this. So we'll keep on making stuff for y'all.
Yeah, and guys, don't if you all have any suggestions or anything on how we can actually I know this is probably very early to say, but different things that we could possibly do to um, maybe get some early money in this. Just saying, just any ideas because we are new to this stuff. We are trying to figure it out as we go. But again, appreciate y'all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and go follow the Twitch. And peace.